Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Feathers in the Wind, a Korean movie from 2004, directed by Song Il-gon. Per Wikipedia, it was originally planned as a 30-minute section of a 3-part anthology with 2 other directors. However, the resulting length of 73 minutes made the film exceed the limits of that original anthology format, and so it was released on its own theatrically. Now, a film director, as our main character here, comes to a small island near Jeju Province where he had agreed to meet his first love. That promise was made 10 years ago. Unfortunately for him, the woman went to university in Germany after the promise was made and married a German conductor instead. Not entirely expecting to meet her, of course, he still travels to the island to work on his second screenplay. During his visit, he develops a friendly relationship with an oddly charming young woman who runs an inn with her uncle, who, for some reason, does not speak. So one intriguing aspect of Feathers in the Wind is the director. Song Il-gon was the man who gave us Spider Forest in 2004, which is one of my favorite South Korean horror films of all time. We desperately need a Blu-ray of that in the United States. He also directed Magicians from 2005, which is arguably the most charming film ever shot in a single take. I have reviews of both of those on my channel. But this director had an awesome little hot streak of films during the mid-2000s, but kind of fell off after that, which is kind of a shame. I think he did 1 or 2 other films that made some money, but they, in my opinion, they were not as good as these 3 that we've been talking about here. In any case, this film opens with a woman doing a dance on the beach, and then we meet our main character, who's like an average everyday guy. You know, he is a director by trade, as the plot synopsis mentioned, but he's pretty down to earth and humble. You know, during his monologue near the beginning, he mentions that he just completed a mediocre film, so he's not very pretentious. But he arrives on the island, calls to get picked up at the docks to go to this little inn, and our female lead shows up riding a scooter to transport him there. So from that point on, you're going to realize that this is very much an everyday living kind of movie. It has a minimalistic art house style to it. This is something that you would see at your local independent cinema or movie theater, But in that simplicity, that's where you find the charm in this. Now, the primary focus throughout the entire film are these 2 characters. They're basically just hanging out. They sit together and talk. To be honest, there's really not that much to do on this little island, but I would assume that that's why you visit there. This guy did it, to obviously, I guess, make good on his promise of being there at that particular time from 10 years ago, but also to detox from city life. And there's a little area on the rooftop at this inn where they set up some tables and chairs. They relax, overlooking the sea. A few times they'll light up some sparklers and have some fun, or they'll do little word games that rely on language and stuff like that. And we get a few dance scenes featuring tango as well. And the interaction overall is very pleasant, lots of grin-worthy moments, and the characters are likable. I would definitely classify this as a feel-good movie. It puts you in a good mood. And in terms of dramatic impact, there are little bits of drama pieced in, but for the most part, this is one where you kick back and enjoy it, The natural environments and visuals, consisting of open spaces, wide shots of the sky and the sea, lots of wind, even some overcast clouding as well, provides a very relaxing, kind of laid-back feel. And the runtime of this is only 1 hour and 13 minutes long, which is very short for a Korean film. So that's basically the movie that you get here. There's not a whole lot of plotting to describe or huge highlight moments. It's all in the little interactions and details here. So I enjoy this one, and I've been meaning to review it for a while, but there was no way for me to revisit it until recently. So if you want to just like get away, unwind, experience a nice little genre bender, I would classify this as like a light romance, drama, comedy hybrid. It's a good one. I recommend Feathers in the Wind. Currently streaming on archive.org. I'll leave a link in the description box below. And as always, folks, I'll see you next time.